Hello guys, we have a directional HOR animation. You can see how the slides are moving from different directions as we hover on these elements. And we also have another example with same animation with clickable link. But first let's try with the plain grid. Then we can try with the images. You can see the green color triangle. When we mouse over, the slide comes in, and the tricky part is this is not a triangle. The green color triangle which you are looking at it right now, it's not a triangle, it's a square box. We just faked it. I'm going to remove the outflow hidden. Now you can see it is a square box. We just rotated it to 45 degrees angle, which looks like a triangle. And you can see the gray box in the left side, that is a slide which comes through when we mouse over. And there is also one thing happening here. You can see the green colors box which looks like a triangle. We have increased that height and width. We just increase the height and width of this green color to fill this entire area, just because we don't want any conflicts when we mouse over from the bottom, from the right and the top. We don't want any slides to come through and disturb our the left side slide, which already the animation has happened. I'll show you what we did exactly. So this is the trick. When we mouse over it, the slide comes through, and you can see the green part behind it, the triangle. What I did is, when I mouse over on the green area, I have just increased the width and height and the position of the green part. So I just want to fill this entire square box with the green. So that's why I have to increase the width and height and the position, because we don't want any conflict when we mouse over from the top and right and bottom, other three sides. So this is what we are looking for. This is nice. And now let's dive into our tutorial step by step, and let's repeat this thing to all the other three sides, the top, right and bottom. Now let's dive into our VS Code and do this step by step. So this is my basic HTML page and CSS. I'm just copy pasting from my previous example, and I'm just forwarding this. Okay, I just copy pasted the grid plane. I'm pasting the holder and commenting the outflow hidden for now. And let's paste the left, top, right, bottom, position absolute. I'm just copy pasting one by one. Let's create this span also absolute, and created the gray box with opacity 0.7, and I'm going to push them outside our box. Uh, the left minus 50, right 50, and the top minus 50, and the bottom minus 50. So bottom is plus 50, and here comes the before, the green color. The as I explained you earlier, uh, the square box which we rotated into 45 degrees. So I'll just decrease the opacity so you can see clearly. I'll make the green to red. uh, I think the green is okay. Okay, now I'm just going to remove the opacity so you can see the only green part. So you can see the squares which we rotated to 45 degrees, and half triangle. It looks like a half triangle outside the box and inside the box. So let's do. I'll just show the. So you can see the 0 degrees and this is 0. So this is the actual one. So I'm making 45 degrees. So now let's continue. I'm just going to copy paste from my previous example again one by one. You can see the H over. I'm increasing the width and height. I have just shown you in the demo. So now I'm going to add more. I'm going to make the animation, the gray box. I just want to move the gray box. When I hitch over, I'll I just remove the triangles, I mean the opacity back to 0, and let's create the top and left and right. So I'm just going to create the keyframes animation for the move from bottom first, and let me just H over. So first let me remove the overflow hidden. I'll just uncomment that back. So now it's hidden. Now I'm going to H over. Actually we are hovering on the green color, not the empty white, because we have decreased the opacity. So I'm just going to increase so you can see what we are doing. Let's get back to 0, and let's create the animation for the other thing. For the top, let's copy paste. For the left, let's check it, and for the right, let's check. Mouse over, it works fine. So all the sides, but there is some flickering. If you see, there is an issue still. So now we are going to create the main part of this tutorial. This is the most tricky part. So this is the most tricky part. So how we are going to fix this, and let me show you. First let me explain you what I'm going to do. What we are going to do is, when we mouse over on the bottom, I just don't want these left right top divs to be I don't want these divs to disturb this bottom div when I hitch over. See, when I hitch over the bottom, and now I'll just move the mouse to the left, you can see the top. So I just don't want that kind of disturbance. So when I hitch over on this bottom div, I just want these three divs to be hidden. So I'm just going to hide them when I hitch over. So let's see how I'm going to do that. Let's make bottom hitch over. So let's make display none. So which part I'm going to display none? The first thing is, I just want to display, I just want to hide this left. So so to reach the left div, to reach from bottom, from this div to this div, so to reach the next element siblings, we need to add plus. So let's add plus and simply use star. Let's see if it is working. Now I'm just going to hitch over. Okay, now I'll just click the left. You can see the display none. So let's do the same thing for the right and top. So now to reach this div, it is 2 steps away. So we need to add two pluses. I think you have already guessed it. So let's add plus star, and to reach top, it is 3 steps away. And let's add 3 steps. Plus star. Let's format this. Now you can see. Now let's test in the browser. Now when we hitch out on the bottom, now select left, it shows display none, right display none, top display none. So we don't have any conflict. Let's hitch over. Now let's move the cursor and the corners of this box. You don't see any other slide coming inside, so it works fine. So let's repeat the same thing to these three divs. So let's create the left hitch over, plus star display none. So what we are going to do, when we hitch over on left, so we need to target the right and the top. So we added plus one plus. So we have hidden this right one. So for the top, you need to add two pluses, plus star. So let's refresh. Now let's hitch over on left. Let's check the top, it's display none, and the sorry, let's check the right is display none and this top is display none. It works fine. Now we should also hide this bottom div. So how do we reach top? Till now we have able to reach the next element siblings. So now we have to reach the previous element. So the previous element is bottom, but how do we do that? Now this is the most tricky part. And so now how we are going to reach the bottom div? It is very simple. We are going to use has class, and this is very important and very useful. So how are we going to reach? Let's create bottom has. Let me format this. Okay. So you can see here, to reach the next element sibling, we have added plus star after h over. So we are going to do the reverse thing for this, because we are going to target now previous element sibling. So how can we reach from second div to the first div? So we are going to add has class. Uh, so the plus star is at the end, so we are going to remove the plus star from the end and move it to the first position, because this is a previous element sibling. So we are going to add the plus star before h over. For next element sibling, we have added plus star after h over, so we are going to add before h over. Plus star is to h over. That's it. This is the technique we are going to repeat for the other divs. So what we are going to do is to reach from third div to first div, and from the last div to first div, we are going to use the same technique. Okay, but from where we are reaching from the left? So to reach from the left, it is one step above, so we need to add one plus, like plus star. That's it, as it is one step above. So we need so we added one plus. If it is two or three steps above, we need to add more plus. So let's h over. The right is none and the top is none. Now the bottom is none. So we have successfully done it. So let's create for the right h over. Let's make plus star, display none. So we have reached this top. When we h over on the right, first let's target the bottom one, which is one step above. So one step below. So we have hidden that. Now to reach from right to left, we have to do the same thing, like dot left h over, sorry, left has one step above, so it is plus one star h over. So and one more thing, we have to hide the bottom. So let's bottom has. So to reach bottom from right, it is two steps away. So let's plus used to h over. That's it. Let's save and refresh. Now let's h over on the right. Let's check the bottom one first, which is top class. It is none. Left is none, and the bottom is none. So there is one more thing, that is top. So this doesn't have any next element siblings. So we have to use has classes to reach right, left, and bottom. So one star, two stars, and three stars. So let's fix it. Dot right has. Now we are reaching from top class to right, left, and bottom. So if right has, to reach from top to right, it is one star. So right has, there is no confusion here. I think you're understanding it. Now left is to has. Now we are reaching the left div from top. It is two steps away. So plus star, H over. Now for bottom, you guessed it right. Plus star because it is three steps away from to reach from top to bottom. To reach from top to this bottom, it's three steps away. So we are at three steps. Let's make it display none. Let's reload. And now when we hit R on top, let's select the right. It's none. Left is none. And the top is none. So let's check in the browser. When we HR from the bottom, there is no disturbance and conflict. Now let's HR from the left. We don't have any problem. From the right, we don't have any problem. And from the top. Isn't it cool? This is great. Let's check once again. You can roll over fast. There's no, you can reach till here. So there's no problem. You can reach this corner. You can reach this corner. You can reach. So I think we have done this. So I'm going to copy paste this folder div multiple times. I'm going to copy this 15 times. So I can see that in browser, just like a grid. So I'm just going to reset these settings to 100 px. Auto is fine. Now I'll H over. Now you can see uh, the directional H over works fine. Now let's create the grid images. I'm just going to copy paste from my previous example. So I'll just copy one element. So you can see these are common, and I just added an image and a h3 and this one for hyperlink. And let's create the CSS. I'm just going to copy paste from my previous example CSS for this too. Let's create grid images CSS. And let's create grid wrapper. Let's create image details. That's the next div. Okay, now we have the image with 100 px width and height. And let's create card. And let's create the image. And the h3. And let's check the brightness to 1. It's too bright. Let's set back to 0.7. And then let's copy paste this div multiple times as we created the image thumbnail. Let's delete this, and I'll just copy paste all the images. Just copy paste here. Now let's check the H over. It's working fine. Let's create the H3 and the image zoom on mouse over. We are going to scale the image and the text when we hover on the image. Yes, you can see the text zooming. So let's create the left hover. You have to create the plus hover. You know how to create it. You have seen in previous example. You have to create the exact plus star according to the divs, how they are aligned. And the bottom hover, the bottom is working fine. The image is zooming. Let's create the top. So it's working fine. You can see the image zooming a little bit and the text animating.
Now let's create the hyperlinks. When you click on this image, you will see the change in the URL image 2 and click here for image 1. Now let's change that to google.com.
So if we change this to an anchor tag and give a hyperlink here, we will have an issue because of the z index. These four divs are above this div. So right now we don't have an issue. If this is above all these divs and when we mouse over on this click, we will get a flickering issue and there is a problem. So to avoid that, I just made this to h3 and gave the hyperlink at this location, so we won't face any issue. You can see the Google. So now we have finished creating the directional hover tutorial without using JavaScript. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. And now I want to show you the demo of my upcoming tutorial. So this is our upcoming image gallery tutorial, and you can see the hover effects and different sizes of images, small and large images. So I'm going to click on any of these images, and you can see the image details, and you can see the previous next buttons. And I'm going to scroll down. You can see the images here. I'm going to click on any of these, or you can click the next. You can see the image details. I'm just going to click previous. And we also have a light box. You can check these light box. And when we are in the first item, if you click on the previous, it will redirect to the home page. And when we are in the last item and click the next, it will go back to the home page. And this is also a responsive. You can check these. And I'm just going to click on any of these. You can see the light box. You can see the light box is also responsive. And also we have another exciting feature. As we are in this page, when you refresh, it will stay on the same page. If you go to the next page and reload, you can see the same page. As we have used local storage functionality as well, so we are able to see that. We also have this responsive. You can these thumbnails are hidden when it is in responsive. If you want to see the thumbnails, you can click this. This tutorial is coming soon, so keep watching and please subscribe. Thank you.